Yes, I speak English, and I think you have a translation system, so I hope that works. And I will try to speak slowly. I will talk about how to avoid cherry cracking. First, a short introduction about myself. I work for a government institute located in the western part of Norway. My name is Ullensvang. I'm an applied homologist, also director for the moment, and during spare time I'm helping out my wife who is a cherry grower. So right now how it is, and it's raining and cherry cracks. Okay, cherry cracking. Worldwide problem. Well known, rain-induced, and we know that when the cherry cracked, they have lost their value in the market. In the environment I come from, we have severe rainfall. Can be 1 day or 2 days in a row, and we have to do covering system. It's the only way for us. But I come back to this. They crack because they absorb too much water. This is the old theory why cherry fruit crack. Fruit juice act osmotically and cause water uptake of the fruit surface. We have a volume increase, and then because of this volume increase, like crack. These cherries here are vents in Norway. They are totally cracked. There are many factors influencing that. We all know about the rainfall, which is most obvious. From my country, we see that humidity is important. If high humidity, they crack more. They even crack on the covers if we have high humidity. Then we have the genetics, science, cultivars. There are large differences between different cultivars, which you well know. In Norway, we mainly grow the varieties from Meland, the Canadian varieties, and they are well known for cracking, like vents. On the other side, we have some Ridinas, we have a few Silvias. They are not crack resistant, but they are more tolerant, in my opinion. Rootstocks have not much of an effect on cherry cracking, to my knowledge. Then we have the morphology, the cuticle, and then we have the physiology, soil plant, water relationship, which are important as well. If you are looking closer into a cherry fruit surface, you can see things like this. You can find small cracks, or you can say that they are fractured. This is non-fractured, and here you have small cracks. This is related to the water relationship in the plant, and also it's related to varieties. These few data here tells a little bit about the amount of these minor cracks, these fractures, regular irrigation, keeping the soil moist compared to drying up roots and then adding water just like a shower. Then we have increased the amount of fractures. That means that they are also more susceptible for cracking. What can we do? I have not much experience with different chemicals regarding preventing cherry cracking. I've only worked with the new compound biofilm, but I was reading on the post session that you are testing different compounds here in Italy. We tested Platina from Gobi. We have from the States, we have Rain Guard, we have Vapor Guard. We have reported from the literature, vegetable oil is working, protecting. And for all these compounds, you spray before harvest, pre-harvest. Can be 1 month, can be 1 application, can be a few applications, and it does give reduction. It does give some reduction in the fruit cracking, but to my experience, not fully. You are not fully safe by using these. Another thing is also calcium chloride. Some are doing overhead sprinklers, adding calcium chloride, reducing your osmotic potential, and then the cracking. Some growers also do that worldwide, but it's not full guarantee for not cracking. But they give it reduction. A couple of years I've been testing this compound from Oregon State University called for biofilm. It's a new compound. It's organic wax covering the fruit surface, spread out straw color, and then it's repeated. And it's sealing the particular fractures. It's elastic and will be stretched together with the fruit growth. And that means it lasts for some time as well. And we see some reduction. We see some reduction in the cracking, but it's not fully. Still not too much cracking in the environment I come from. We also see increased fruit firmness, increased stem pull force, and also sugar content increased, sometimes larger fruits. What I have been mainly working with over the years are how we can prevent cracking by physical rain covers. How we are excluding the rain, and there are different methods for that. And as I understand now from the rest of the program today, different companies will present their design how to protect the cherry orchards from rain. There are many different designs around. I will talk about, or just talk a little bit about our system, the vision system, and now we have moved more and more to high tunnels, and also give a few slides about systems around the market. This is our system. We developed that 15 years ago. Thank you. Quite simple. It's adapted for small orchards. We have poles, wooden poles. They are spaced 12 meters apart and connected with crosswood. On the top of the crosswood there are wires. Top wire, side wires. And then we have a plastic sheet connected to the wires. There are elastic bands, snap hooks connected top wire and side wires. And as you can see here, we can slide them back and forth. Adaptable to small areas. And here you see the design of the plastic sheet. How it's connected to the top wire with eyelets here every half a meter. And you get, this is polyethylene, different thicknesses, different width, different length. And up to now, more or less all the regions, cherry orchards are covered with this system. Now they are moving more over to to high tunnels, but I will talk about results from those trials by the end. As I said, there are many different designs around, and I will hear more about them. I just picked a few from the internet. I will not make any comments about them, and just give you a few examples. Pictures I've also taken being around different countries. Well, from England, in this tunnel, circle thing you can pull and put together. We will hear more about Før later today. We have that in Norway now as well, it's coming. Wind stable, it's more wind stable than the Norwegian system. And this is a new thing we think has a future. Star is another company. What we see is that this is combined with hail nets and cherry covering. A German company, Brühweiler, different designs. Swiss company, I guess you are familiar with this. You can go further, you can go to a more sophisticated thing. This is Dutch plastic house, I would call it for. They are more costly. This is very wind stable, it can tolerate wind up to 40 meters per second. That of course a more costly thing. All these covers, they cost, adding cost. And if you are very sophisticated, you can grow the cherries in the greenhouse. This is from Holland. You can manipulate the climate and have it early if you like. But it's a question about